now we're going to log into MasterAdjust and show you how to configure a couple of devices. First, you're going to need the MasterAdjust software. This is the only way that you can log into a master bus system and configure Mastervolt devices. In order to get that, you're going to need to download it. It can only be used on a PC running Windows. This does not work on Mac. So go to any browser and go to our website, shop.pelagic-power.com, and then find the USB interface tool. And this tool you can purchase from us, but it is required to log into a master bus system. And at the bottom of that page, you can download the MasterAdjust software right here. Once you have that and it's installed and you've connected your master bus USB interface to your laptop, you can now log into MasterAdjust and start to program your system. So we have the USB interface up here, and then all of the devices in the network below it. We have a MLI Ultra Lithium battery, and we have a 12-3500 CombiMaster. And we're going to go through how to configure those right now. First, in order to do any kind of extensive configuring, you need to log into the system. In order to get this password, you have to be an installer. So please give us a call and we'd be happy to talk through your system and your needs so that we can help you log in and help you configure these properly. So once we're logged in, we're going to do the CombiMaster first. You have all the information here about what this product is from the part number, the software revision on the summary page. Now we're going to go to monitoring, and you can see the device state is charging. This is an inverter charger. It's charging right now. We have AC in limit. This allows us to limit the amount of shore power that comes out of the grid or from your generator so that the product doesn't trip breakers on the dock. We're using it on a small outlet right now, so we have it limited down to 10 amps. You can turn on and off the inverter and the charger from here. I'll show you how that works. You can see we're actually charging right now. We're in bulk, 13.6 volts, 18 amps, 19 amps going into the battery. I'm going to turn that charger off by simply clicking. You can see the charger turns off, and now the battery is not being charged. And turn the charger back on, and of course, starts charging again. AC input voltage from the grid or from your generator, input current on the AC side, frequency, and then how much power in watts is being drawn from the grid. Then we have, if we were inverting, you would see all that same information on the output side as well. The reason we don't have battery temperature is because you should not hook up temperature compensation when you're working with an MLI Ultra battery. The Mastervolt batteries communicate with the charging devices on board their own internal temperature, so it is far more accurate than using an external temperature sensor. So that's why this temperature sensor is not hooked up and it doesn't show any numbers. You can actually see this product just went into inverter mode right now. It's a good test. And now we're going to go back into charging mode. All right, we can see if there's any alarms in the unit here. They would be ticked in blue in these white boxes if there was an alarm, so it would help you with diagnostic. You can see the history of the device, how long it's run in inverter and in charger, and then we can start configuring. And so you can name the product, inverter charger. There are limited characters to type in there. You can double check the dip switches. Dip switches in master bus, we recommend if you're doing a traditional master bus network that you always set dip switches to 1, 1, and then all 0. This means that it is a master bus network is the first dip switch, and then the second dip switch allows this device to power the network. In our other video, we talk about which devices can power the network. Energy saving mode. This is specifically for certain areas in the world where they don't want products running all the time in low power mode. I don't recommend that you use this unless you live in one of those areas. We're 60 hertz here in North America. We can control when the inverter goes on and off based on battery voltage. So it'll turn itself off if the battery gets too low, down to 10.2, and then it'll turn itself back on when the battery gets to 11.5. These are adjustable. That should never happen in a lithium system, but those are the default. We can change the maximum amount of DC amperage that the charger is outputting. We have it set to 20 amps right now, just because we don't want to draw a lot of power, and our batteries were essentially full. We just don't need to whack it. You select the chemistry of the battery. MasterAdjust will update on the fly. This is a live system, so as you make changes, it will kind of have that screen blip, and it just means that the system is catching the new information. So we have a lithium battery. This will set the default bulk, absorption, and float voltages. If you wanted to make that custom, you could go to user defined. See, it updates live, and now all of that information becomes adjustable for you. But we are charging a lithium battery, so I'm going to select lithium. AC in support. This is specifically on the inverting side. So if you want the product to be able to take more power out of the battery than the grid can supply to supplement AC power for the loads, you can check this box. But what it means is if you've got 30 amps coming in from shore and then another 20 amps of AC being inverted to make 50 amps for your loads, that you're going to be draining your batteries even though you're connected to shore power. A lot of customers don't like that because it doesn't make sense intuitively. So we rarely use this, but in certain applications where there's heavy AC loads, it may make sense to check this box. The max AC input limit here is very similar to the one on the monitoring tab, except for this is the ceiling and or floor, as you might. On the back end in the configuration tab, whatever you set this to, you will not be able to set it above that in the monitoring tab. So it is set to 50 here, and then monitoring is set to 10. But if this was set to 10 here, you could never set monitoring above 10. Input window, always recommend that this is wide. This is for the AC input voltage. This allows the unit to work at a wide range of input voltages, and sometimes the voltage dips from our shore sources, so it's important to have wide. We have seen issues where this is selected at narrow, so we never recommend it. You can hard set presets for AC input limits here for switching on EasyView 5 screens, which is very uncommon, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. If you're using any of the analog input terminals, you can see that under dry contact here. If you have multiple inverter chargers, because this inverter charger can be paralleled, it can also be set up in split phase. You can put what's called a cluster, and so they can communicate together to properly invert. But this product is just a standalone inverter charger, so it's single phase and one inverter charger. So the cluster is approved, and we're in standalone mode. And then it's going to tell you all the processor information here. Then the events tab is where you get to start having a lot of fun with Mastervolt, where you can start to set events where things will automatically happen based on parameters. We are going to show you some of that in our battery video. To learn more, give us a call.